What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday to everyone that goes out crazy shopping after the Thanksgiving holiday. I hope everyone did have a very good Thanksgiving. For those that celebrated, spending some time with your loved ones in the way that you celebrated and everything like that. So hopefully everyone enjoyed the day yesterday. We were suiting up for, afternoon puck drop, 1 o'clock, Flyers Rangers. Try to see, what this Flyers team is made of. Even though they're rebuilding, it would be nice to see them, go up against one of the better teams in the NHL, in the New York Rangers, and make it a very fun contest. The Wells Fargo Center was packed. The atmosphere was jumping. There were a lot of Rangers fans, but definitely, it didn't feel like as overpowering as it was last year. Granted, last year, barely any Flyers fans attended. This year, more Flyers fans are attending because they do like the product that they're seeing on the ice, regardless of the rebuild or not. And it's making people go out and buy tickets to go to the Wells Fargo Center. So it was a packed house. There was a lot of energy in the crowd tonight. And the start for the Flyers was not good. It was not good at all. 2 goals right off the bat for the Rangers. Both of them basically odd-man rushes, one from Mika Zibanejad, and then one off of a face-off where Travis Sanheim, with the dumbest pass I've ever seen in the world, I have no idea what he was trying to do in this standpoint, throws the puck to the middle of the ice. Here comes Chris Kreider pushing and forechecking Sanheim, intercepts the pass wherever he was deciding to pass it to, and he just, easy bury against Carter Hart there, and automatically in the first, 2-3 minutes, it's already 2-0 Rangers, and the Rangers fans that aren't attending at the Wells Fargo Center, basically taking over that entire standpoint. Flyers fans were expecting a little bit of a better start, and that's what they got. A bunch of Rangers fans screaming down their goddamn neck, and that's basically what it felt like. Now, the Flyers did outshoot the Rangers in the totality of this game. It wasn't a good game for the Flyers, in my honest opinion, from the way it looked. They had 7 power plays in this game. I know the Flyers' power play is bad, but you can't squeak out 1 power play goal on 7 chances. You got Garnett Hathaway getting 2 fights in the first period, and after the first fight where Trouba absolutely decks him, goes after, I believe it was one of the other 4 flying. I believe it was Goudreau for the Barclay Goudreau for the Rangers. They go into a scrum, and then, so many minutes later, when Hathaway gets out of the box from his first fighting major, he buries one of the, I think it was Lindgren from the Rangers. He buries him into his own boards, and then one of the Rangers comes and backs him up, and then, Hathaway goes back to the box for another fighting major. So Hathaway was all over the ice. You could definitely tell the fourth line was trying to get under the Rangers' skin a little bit, but, Deloria was constantly going after Trouba in that first period, and after Trouba completely decks Hathaway, Trouba was trying to stay away from a fight, and he's doing the smart thing. At the end of the day, there's no reason for the captain of the Rangers to be fighting when he has a 2-0 lead early in the game. There's just no point of that. Let one of your fourth line guys do it, and that's exactly what they were doing in this instance. But, yeah, it's 2-0 Rangers after 1 in the first 2 minutes of the game. And it just was not a good start. It was a bad start on a 2-on-1 by that Zibanejad goal. And for some reason, Zibanejad only had 3 goals coming into this game. Of course, he goes off on the Flyers because that's just what Zibanejad does every time he sees the orange and black. He's like a guaranteed hat trick every time he plays the Flyers. That's just the way it goes at this point. He is a Flyer killer. And then that terrible pass by Sanheim was just completely brutal. The Flyers did get a better jump after the couple of fights, but throughout the game, you see 37 shots total from the Flyers. None of their chances, honestly, were grade A. None of their scoring opportunities were, even, dangerous, in my honest opinion. It was just easy save after easy save from Shesterkin on the other side. And that basically is what it felt like the entire time. The Rangers played a really good game. They pounced on a lot of the Flyers' mistakes, forced turnovers, and it felt like they had 20 billion odd-man rushes going the other way. They had an odd-man rush goal in the third period, which got disallowed for an offside, which would have been a shorthanded goal. And, the first goal that they score in the second period, halfway through it, Flyers, they're trying to do something in the offensive zone. They got a nice push out there in the second period. They ragged the puck a little bit too many times in the offensive zone, goes the other way. And then here's Mika Zibanejad off the rush with a redirection shot past Carter Hart. and it's 3-0 Rangers halfway through the period. So it just wasn't a good game. Nothing for the Flyers was dangerous. Every scoring opportunity, the Rangers only had 19 shots in this game, and it felt like every single shot was a grade A scoring chance. So there's no reason to put any blame on Carter Hart, in my honest opinion. The first goal by Zibanejad was a cross-crease one-timer that he had no chance on. The second goal was a terrible play by Travis Sanheim that allowed Chris Kreider to be wide open in the slot, just bulldozing the Carter Hart to be an easy bury. And then the third goal is a redirection. There's really nothing a goaltender can do on that instance. It was just a perfect redirection from Kreider from Zibanejad off the rush. So Sean Couturier does get a goal late in the first period. They keep the puck in possession. Really, the first line was the only line for the Flyers in this game generating any type of scoring chances. Konechny. It just felt like they were trying to do one too many things. Like I said, a lot of their shots, they had a lot of shots in this game. Nothing was grade A. Nothing was dangerous. But they do have the puck in the late stages of the second period. Nick Sealer throws one on net, gets redirected by Sean Couturier in front, get a body in front of Shesterkin. Couturier gets a stick on it, and it goes in, and maybe you can make a game out of this. Third period, I thought you did have a nice jump, but it just wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough. And granted, with all the power plays that you're getting in this game, you couldn't cash in on at least one of them. That's just what it felt like. We could go to the game against the Islanders on Wednesday, and the Flyers fought back. They managed to make that a 3-2 game, but it was more the same thing there. The Islanders were getting a lot of dangerous scoring chances, and the Flyers, a lot of their chances really weren't dangerous at all. These back-to-back games are just kind of like carbon copies of each other. That's what it feels like. They're just not getting good scoring chances. Yeah, they're throwing pucks onto the net, but no one's getting bodies to the net. No one's getting prepared for the rebounds, because early on in the game, Shesterkin was giving up a lot of grade A rebounds, and no one was there to try to cash in on his opportunities. So, and Shesterkin, he settled into the game, and yeah, he makes those 30-plus saves in this. Even though I don't think he stole the game by any means, the Flyers just really made his night easy. That's just what I think on the perspective there. But Shesterkin is one of the best goaltenders in the National Hockey League. So, like, seriously, 3 games in a row in this stretch, 2 against the Islanders and 1 against the Rangers, you're going to be seeing most likely, 2 of the best goaltenders in the National Hockey League, 3 times in a row. I'm not sure if Sorokin's going to be playing tomorrow for the Islanders, but most likely he probably could be. I don't know what's going to be the case there. Then you got Shesterkin tonight. So it's just one of those instances. And the Rangers, they're one of the best teams in the NHL for a reason. They barely have any regulation losses. If I can remember that correctly, I feel like they only have a couple. Yeah, the Rangers, they only have 3 regulation losses. They're 14-3-1 after tonight. So yeah, they're just completely on a roll. Completely on a roll. And I feel like a lot of their team is just clicking right now. And there's seriously, there's some players on this team that I didn't even know, when the fuck did these guys get here? I completely forgot that Blake Wheeler signed with them. I didn't even realize Nick Bonino signed with them, some of these bottom guys here, if I'm looking at this correctly. Blake Wheeler went off on the Flyers today. I think he had a couple of points in this game. Yeah, he had 2 assists. Yeah, he had 2 assists in this game. And looking at the Rangers stats in general, Panarin's been amazing for them, 26 points in 18 games. Kreider has 11 goals. Trocheck has 15 points. Zibanejad definitely has had a slow start to the year, but the Flyers is a nice little home cooking for him. He loves facing the Orange and the Black. They're not a dynamic offensive team, but they're a good defensive team. They've been better at 5-on-5 this year, and their goaltending has been really good. Shesterkin has been really good. Jonathan Quick in the backup role has been really good. Quick has won every single game. Actually, he has an overtime loss in there, but he's won every game in regulation so far for the Rangers. He has a 1.68 goals against and a 940 save percentage. So going back to vintage Jonathan Quick in this stage of his career. So yeah, they've just been really good. Adam Fox has 11 points in 10 games this year. So yeah, they've just been on a roll basically. So they've been that type of team. And they're going to be probably that type of team for the rest of the year. Definitely a Stanley Cup favorite in the making. Well, not in the making. They are a Stanley Cup favorite. But my God. Well, I remember someone saying going 0-7 on the power play. They went 0-6 on the power play, actually. So that's a mistake by me. And then you get John Tortorella talking about, in the postgame, he doesn't even want to speak about the power play today. So it's just, I don't know, man. It was just a bad game. It was just a bad game in totality. That's basically all you can summarize this game to being. the lineup today, basically the same exact one against the Islanders on Wednesday. I can definitely see John Tortorella making a little bit of a shakeup here. I didn't like the fact that Zamula played again, and I barely even saw Zamula in this game. How many minutes did he even play today? That's what I want to see. Yeah, Zamula only played in 9 minutes of the game, so he was barely out there on the ice. I think it's time to maybe, put Belpedio into the lineup. Maybe since the back-to-back, maybe you'll see some different faces. Morgan Frost probably will get back into the lineup tomorrow, and it kind of is getting old with the Morgan Frost situation. Now, I'm not a Morgan Frost defender by any means. Like, I don't, hold him to the standards that a lot of his defenders are. And yeah, he had a good stretch at the end of the season last year where he led the team in points going towards the end of the season. And yeah, has Torts been a little bit unfair to Morgan Frost this year? No doubt. No doubt. He's in Torts' doghouse, and it's kind of very hard to get out of Torts' doghouse. That was Kevin Hayes and Tony DeAngelo last year. So Frost is just, that next guy, I guess, when those guys aren't here anymore. And yeah, I think with the way the lineup is shaken up, the first line really right now is the only line that's generating offense. Your center depth right now is not the best. It's Sean Couturier as your first line center, and then you mix and match Paling and Lawton as the second and third line center, and right now Noah Cates is your fourth line center. So I think getting Frost back into the lineup, put him into the top six, maybe evens out your depth a little bit more because your center depth isn't the best, and especially in terms of generating offense. Because when you're putting guys like, Bobby Brink, Joel Farabee, Owen Tippett in between guys like Scott Lawton and Paling, it's not going to be that much offensive creativity. Like, you need your center to drive the play offensively and have your wingers complement them. When you have a guy out there that's more of a bottom six type of forward playing second line center, that's not going to be the best. It's just not. And Lawton really has not been the same guy this year. I think it's probably the fact that he's also playing center, which kind of detriments his role, because I do think he's more suited as a winger. And the more and more I think about it as the day goes along, with those rumors talking about how, like, this has nothing to do with today's game. This is just in general. But with the rumors about, possibly, denying first round or not taking first round picks for a trade for Scott Lawton, I think that those days have, that was definitely a missed opportunity there. That's just my honest opinion on that standpoint. Man, just would have liked to see a better effort. I know they're rebuilding and all that stuff, but the effort against the Islanders, they fought back. They were involved that entire way. It was a better performance against the Islanders than it was tonight. They were just completely outclassed. And that's probably what it's going to be like a lot against these upper echelon teams. Yeah, they'll have their games where they beat the Hurricanes, where they beat the Kings and all that stuff. But, even the Vegas Golden Knights, but even that, they have shown that they can play up to some of these top teams in the league. But I guess they're just a poor matchup for the Rangers. Or the Rangers are just a poor matchup for them because the Rangers have just had this team's number for the past couple of seasons so far. So I guess same thing with the Islanders. So it's just one of those things. But before we end it off here, we do have a voicemail here on the Anytime Hotline. So let's get to that. We have a call here from Sean. Let's see what Sean has to say about this Flyers performance.
This one's kind of a rinse-repeat to the Islander game of the other night. Flyers get a lot of shots, but can't get anything by Shesterkin, and they capitalize on early chances and win the game. Before I continue, I would digress to say I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Amadeo. Forgot to throw that in early. My question is this, though. We know that Tortorella likes to put players in the doghouse, i.e. Morgan Frost. How much more are they going to keep Rocky Thompson as the power play coach? I mean, they've changed personnel, and what this guy's drawing up on the whiteboard isn't working. I don't understand how an enforcer can coach the power play to begin with. The guy was a marginal hockey player at best, and that's being polite. That's like the equivalent of the Phillies going out next year and hiring Uris Familia to be the pitching coach. I don't get it. But I think it's time to relieve Mr. Thompson of his duties, bring in a set of outside eyes, and see if the power play can do any better. I mean, I know there's not a ton of skill, but there is some skill there. You just can't keep going 0 for every night and hope to win hockey games.
Oh yeah, I do agree on that standpoint. I don't think the one thing I don't agree on, I don't think it focuses on what the player was throughout his career, determining what he can do as a coach. But I think Rocky Thompson, when he was the Sharks power play guy, the Sharks always usually when they had their players, they usually had a dynamic power play, and then when the Sharks got bad, the power play got worse, and it's just you don't have that much talent in this room. Yeah, you do have some talent for the power play to be this atrocious, though. Yeah, maybe something could be shaken up. I don't see them firing Rocky Thompson. I just don't see that as a thing, in my honest opinion. He is. I'm not sure if he was the Torts guy or he was the Chuck Fletcher guy. I just don't remember in that standpoint. So who knows if they even have that much of a long leash with Rocky Thompson. But yeah, there definitely needs to be something shaken up. I do think Morgan Frost needs to be back into the lineup tomorrow because that can definitely give you some creativity offensively wise and gives you a bolster on the power play for creativity and playmaking. Because when I look at that second unit of the power play, Scott Alton's your second line center on the power play unit. And that can't happen. That can't be a thing. That just can't be a thing, in my honest opinion. It just isn't. So they just need to be a little bit better in that aspect. Well, not even a little bit better, way better. I know they had that stretch for the past, before the Islanders game, they had that couple of game stretch where they were scoring on the power play. Then I guess it just came back to reality. But it definitely can be better. I do agree with that standpoint. It can be better. So I don't know the way is going to be there. 0 for 6 on the power play. Even if you have a bad power play, you can luck into a power play goal here or there when you get 6 during a game. And that's basically what killed you today. But the Rangers just outclass you, in my honest opinion. None of your chances were grade A. All of their chances were. So they had like a billion shorthanded, not even shorthanded, out of man rushes. They had a billion out of man rushes today, and that's bottom line there. Ugh, man. I don't care that they lose. I don't. I could be a competitive guy. I don't care that they lose during the rebuild because at the end of the day, it does benefit you in the draft standpoint and all that crap. I care about the way they look. And today, they looked good in the Islanders game. Maybe they were due for a loss after the 5-game win streak. I just wanted to see a better performance today on your home ice against the division rival, who's near the top of the league. I just wanted to see a better performance. That's all. I don't care that you lost. If you put out a good performance, you were fighting the entire way, and it was a 1-goal contest, and you just happened to lose by 1 goal, I'd be fine with that. I'd be perfectly fine with that. I just didn't like the performance today. Especially that start to the game. Abolish afternoon game because this team just does not prepare for afternoon games, I guess. So, we'll just leave it there. So, that is going to do it for today, everybody. Appreciate the words for Thanksgiving, Sean. Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving too. Hopefully everyone here that's tuning into this had a good Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll probably have another recap tomorrow for Flyers Islanders, and then that sets us up for Sunday Eagles Bills. So still have a packed weekend here, so definitely stay tuned for all of that. But for right now, that'll do it for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night, everybody. Thanks you for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me great work. So definitely do some things there. Helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate it. Also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, guys, for joining tonight. I'll see you next time.